Hello, girls and boys. We are back with episode 3 of Come Unstuck. I'm Richard, and this is Lukey boy over here. First off, just wanted to say, if you guys have any questions or anything, please just comment, and we'll do our best to just answer them as we're filming. So first up on the agenda tonight, I just wanted to give you guys a bit of an update on my old situation. We are back with episode 3.
Sorry. Hey, we're live, actually.
Yeah, we are live. It's good to know how I sound. Anyway, wanted to give you guys a bit of an update. Thanks, man. You're right, bro. So wanted to give you guys a bit of an update. I touched on the first episode where I was talking about how reason I kind of started doing this whole group stuff because I wasn't feeling very fulfilled. I feel absolutely fantastic. So I feel really great doing this with Luke and being a part of this group and doing something that's, I guess, helping people. And there's no gain at all, like monetary gain, for us at all. This is just, we just want to spread a bit of positivity, a bit of love, help some people where we can. It's taught me a lot in this past, week of doing this. Number one would definitely be, money isn't everything. Like doing this just because, it feels good. Like that's the currency. That's my currency. That's for me. That's just like, I feel absolutely amazing. Just, spreading a bit of good, positive cheer out there. Another thing I realized, and I've heard of this a lot from when I speak to other people, is like a lot of people say they can't do something because of, their partner or work or some other whatever. Like there's always pointing blame, where I've realized, especially doing this, it's like it all comes to you. Like just do it. Just do something. Like don't, wait for someone else to do it for you or whatever. Like just make an action, make a small little action. I caught up with a mate last week and he was talking about, we were talking about this, and he was saying how he, was thinking about doing something similar, like with cars. And I was like, man, just do it. Like, just who cares? Like, just go do it. Have a crack, like, see what happens. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You're just doing something that you enjoy doing. My main message is, just do it makes you feel fulfilled, but you need to find that, and you need to do it, and you need to own it, and you need to put that energy into doing that, because no one else is going to do that for you. It's all on you. So yeah, Loki, if you have any comments on my little rant there.
Yeah, I like that. It's a really big, it's a bloody good message, and I think for myself, it comes natural to me because I've learned that about my personality. Is I'm a starter. I'm not necessarily a finisher, sexually, physically, emotionally, and mentally, like any of those forms. But I can get things started really easy. So it feels natural for me to go like, if someone says that's a good idea, I go, oh, cool, and then bang, like I'll make it happen. But I don't necessarily make the whole thing happen. So I might get started and then I might not carry on, which is the downfall to my strength of being a starter. But so I find it hard when people come to me and go, oh man, like I'm gonna be a skater, man, or I'm gonna fucking be an astronaut, or I'm gonna start a podcast, and I'm like, you're all shit. Like you're fucking lying. And that's a lot of heat, but like they won't start because they don't actually know how to start. And so it's kind of, how can you help people go, okay, that's awesome, that's exciting, and step back and go like, I think I'm a starter and this is how I'd go about it. So do you need a hand to start, or like, do you want me to check in with you in a week's time? And I met with some lads last week, and man, they've been on TV over here. They could have their own TV series online in a podcast format, like Facebook Live, etc., if they just start. And I think what I tried to do with them last week is basically just give them a bit of energy to go like, lads, just start. And do you need me to check in with you each week and kick you up the ass and go, what are you doing this week? Like, and they already know what they need to do, but they just need a little bit of that guiding hand to go, yep, we can do this. We know we can. We just need to start. And once you start, then the snowball effect happens, right?
I love it. I reckon I think I was just thinking about when you were saying that, like I think I posted something this morning about like helping people and like so your strength is starting stuff. So if
Yeah.
you're using that to help people to start things, I reckon that's fantastic. Like I mean, that's you live in a little bit of your purpose right there, like using your strength sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely, bro. I think the sooner we can learn what our strengths are, it's so valuable to be able to then use those to help A, yourself, selfishly, but then B, other people that don't have those strengths, and then C, to learn about those things and then go, okay, there's a weakness to each of those strengths because that's just normality, but then also what things are you shit at, and then going, well, who can help me with those things because I'm not very good at those things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's pretty important. It's a self-awareness, right?
Yeah, I just find it so difficult because I just have so many strengths and just know
Oh,
I really can't think of any.
yeah, biceps, tries, good looks, yeah, all of it. Yeah, it's tough.
Next, next.
I feel
Yeah.
tough. I feel worried for you growing up. With so many strengths. But anyway, someone had to do it.
Yeah. but yeah, Luke, tell us what happened. How was your week? Give us some
Man,
info.
I've had a big weekend. I can't even really go like I can't go into any detail of some of the conversations I've had this weekend. So I think just to outline a quick time frame, like Friday, have a conversation with a mate going through like a massive life change, like bang, done some bad shit, gonna have to take responsibility, gonna have to deal with it. Um, Saturday, get a phone call from another mate dealing with some stuff from his past out of nowhere. Bang, some huge shit. I don't even know if I can add any value to the first situation, maybe a little bit. Second situation, out of my depth, like just genuinely want to help, but probably can't. Sunday, have some weaknesses of my own in terms of find out there's some shit getting said about me online, which is, that's just 2018 these days, I guess. But I guess for my personality, I know that I'm very bad at at upsetting people or having like a form of conflict. Like I don't mind conflict when I know that's going to be productive, but I don't really like it when people aren't going to like me. And that might sound to some people, well, yeah, because you're an arrogant fuckwit, or whatever. But for me, it's like I usually get along with people. So when people don't like me, and I know, well, you're talking about me, and that's not the person I am. I get really upsets me, and it hurts me, and I used to want to go. I need to make it right with that person so that they understand. But now I've learned that like sometimes there's no convincing some people, and I think something my sister taught me was that basically if you're coming from good intentions, that the mass of people will see that, and then the eventually, the other people, they'll either go, you know what, they were right, or this person is all right, or they'll just continue to not like you because it's just human nature, and you're not going to be liked by everybody. But probably took me a long time to get to that point of accepting that, and probably still haven't 100%. And so, yeah, copped a fair bit of shit over the weekend, and sort of sat back and I guess it was really interesting. About 2 hours later, I watched a video from your boy Kerwin Ray talking
Mhm.
about self-sabotage and how basically when people bring you down, you can tend to self-sabotage yourself to try and fit back into what is comfortable. um, and so I thought it was a really good lesson, like a couple of hours after like thinking, oh, maybe I need to think about the way I'm saying that, or should I not be saying that anymore because those guys are going to be upset about it and blah blah blah, just in terms of context of what I've got going on. And then I sort of watched that video and I was like, you know what, it's true. Like we want to go back to comfort, but part of being a leader and pioneering some change and trying to be who you are and truly standing up for what you believe in is like, you know what, fuck it. Not everybody's going to like this, and I have to accept that, and I have to go, cool. Don't focus too much of this headspace into reading that stuff, or if I choose to read it because I'm weak and I want to read it because that's part of my personality, and I have to go, all right, you chose to read that. but keep going forward and don't bring yourself back down to just to try and fit in to make everybody happy. Do the good that you're trying to do, and if you're genuinely doing good, then people will support you, and then we can ignore the bullshit that is on the side. So yeah, pretty big weekend for the lad. Um, what day is it? Monday. Yeah, so Monday, and here we are sharing the journey.
Yeah, wow, man, that's definitely sounds like you had a big weekend.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
another weekend in the life, mate.
man, I really didn't even know what to even like say that because it's yeah, obviously it just sounds like you've I don't know done a lot of self reflection at all. Like when you mentioned the intention stuff, I was started thinking about that a little bit and like I don't know, I find that I actually had a conversation with like my sister this morning about it, talking about like intention and like you have to look like when people are talking, you have to think about what their actual intention is. Like people don't always communicate um, like effectively what they're trying to get or whatever, if that makes sense. But I'm kind of going a little bit off topic here. I could be,
Yeah, yeah.
but you know what I
I
mean?
think it. Yeah, look, I think Brody's just tracked it in the comments. They hate it. They hate on what they can't be, brother. Keep doing you, my bro. And that's 100%
Yeah,
true. Brood's he's a good lad, and I think when you start becoming quite visible in the things that you're doing, it's quite easy for people to go like, you might have a mass of people that like what you're doing, but you're always going to have those people that go, you know what, that's shit, or I don't like that, or blah blah blah. But usually it comes from a place of their insecurity. We've already spoken about that in an earlier discussion. But like I'm just like everybody else out there. Like I read it, I cop it. I want to know why they're saying that. I want to know how can I stop them from saying that. I want to know how everybody can't just be positive, and I let my mind go away and waste its energy on those things when it's not necessarily productive because it takes time away from you achieving the things that you should be achieving for the mass that do enjoy what you're doing for them. So good lesson for
yeah,
myself
man.
there. Again, I'm only getting stronger every week and just trying to figure the same shit out that everybody else is. So
It's a crazy journey called life.
yeah, and then just another one. I posted up a photo in the group about Kanye, who had a message for the lads, basically saying, and for the ladies saying, if you get in the way of yourself, you're going to get in the way of other people. And I didn't realize that, Kanye is massively in the media under fire from all of the shit that's going on at the moment, and I think I mean, it's purely because I don't really read the news because that was a conscious effort, a decision I made is to stay out of the news because I realized it was a way that I was wasting a lot of time was basically visiting stuff which is a news website here in New Zealand every time I wanted to procrastinate or reading another newspaper article. And what I realized that on those sites is they refresh so quickly so that every time you go back to them to procrastinate, no matter how short the time span is, there's always something new to capture your attention to help you procrastinate. So when I learned that, I decided to stop consuming the news, and if something was really, really important, it would come to me. So that means I'm a little bit out of touch of what's happening in the world for people that care about that shit. But I don't give a fuck what Kanye is saying. I don't care about Trump, his shit. I don't give a fuck about North Korea. I don't understand any of that stuff. Yep, sometimes I like to have a conversation with someone and find out, oh, is that what's actually happening? Oh, wow. And it's like really fascinating for me, but I don't need to read about that every day because it's just going to waste a whole heap of my time. Um, it just gives you a quick insight into loosely my lid, but anyway, the message from someone seeing that was that it's hard to find a good role model these days because you shouldn't be promoting like Kanye with a caption he makes because of what else he was saying in the world. And for me, I'm like, mate, you fucking take the message, not the messenger. It's a good message. It doesn't matter. Like, it does matter who says it, but at the same time, if you can't like you've emotionally let yourself get involved in the other stuff that's happening. And I said, mate, I don't know because I don't know the news. I don't read the news. And my good mate says, yeah, mate, I've read the 40-hour work week as well. I don't, which is one of the theories that comes out of that book is basically not to read the news, which is where I picked that tip up from. But the funny thing is that he read the book but didn't put it into practice because he's now whinging about Kanye not being a good role model because he's with whatever is happening in society at the moment. So if he didn't focus his time on that shit, he might have been a bit more productive in the things he actually wants to achieve. So I'm going to call you out, mate. You know who you are. Put that shit aside and go and kick some of the goals that you want to do rather than saying, yeah, I've read that book too. Well, you read it, but you didn't do anything about it. So listen to the first 4 minutes of this podcast again and go and do something.
Yeah,
I think I might have got too fired up. But where I was going with that.
I reckon that was, yeah, it's funny, man, because you were saying just before how it's like, it's the message, not the messenger. I actually saw a post, I think it might have been by Gary Vee today, that was saying like, look at the person who's saying this sort of stuff. I'm not like, the way I look at it, right, is it's like the message, the messenger, like who gives a fuck as long as you're kind of doing something with it. As long as that, whatever that message it's having, or the message or the messenger, whatever, as long as either of those things is having a positive effect on you to push you to do something or do what you want to do, I think that's all that matters. I don't think it's a right or wrong. Like if it's pushing you into a direction that's good for you, then great. I think that's all that matters.
100%. Yeah. Completely agree. It's like motivation, right? Some people find motivation from listening to rock music, whereas other people find motivation from listening to Nelson Mandela, and other people find motivation from listening to Gary Vee. And it's like you choose what motivates you, so you need to then find that channel and then tune into it to get whatever it is that you're getting from that, rather than being like, Trump's not a good role model, Kanye's not a good role model, there's no good role models anymore. Well, fucking turn up and be one yourself then.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm 100% with that. It's like that just reminds me of this. I think when I was kind of climbing through the ranks in the old voter days, I've always kind of tried to look for like a role model, like perfection sort of thing. And then it got to a point where it's like, I just realized I was like, I need to stop looking for someone to follow, and I need to just be that person. Like, because I was looking for all these qualities that I wanted in this like mentor or whatever, and I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, that it doesn't matter if I can't find someone who's like that. I just need to go and be that person.
Yeah, wicked. That is because that's the person you aspired to be like.
Yeah, yeah. Like
you already had.
I think they were qualities that were within myself, but I didn't have the balls and wasn't confident enough to kind of like, I don't know, put them all out there. Like I was quite, like when I was younger, I was quite quiet and not as outspoken. It's kind of over the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years that I've started to trust my intuition and just, be vocal and, back myself a bit more.
Yeah, awesome. What do you think has led you to get to that point to make it easier to do that?
Realizing that no one's perfect, and I think, I was setting goals. Like I wanted, like I always saw perfection as like this goal, and then I think what happened with me was like I just kind of realized like what the fuck is perfection? Like, aiming for this stuff, and it's like, is it even real? Do you know what I mean? Like, like someone's picture of perfect is completely different to the next person. So it's like, how can you? And then I think as soon as I let go of a lot of all this shit, I was able to kind of just like, I don't know, move forward and just back myself a bit more.
Yeah, awesome. It's a good place to get to.
It is. I think you just feel a lot better and just relaxed and just kind of stress free. It's like, it's so interesting as well, like studying like psychology, because you realize how little how little we actually know about
All
everything.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of like, you know what, just who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, just I don't know, just
Yeah.
relax.
Just relax.
What's
Yeah.
just go have fun, just do whatever. Like, follow your dreams.
Well, man, I'll tell you a
But
quick
like
story.
seriously, yeah.
This conference this morning, and I sat next to this lovely girl, and she was telling me about her
Here
business,
we
and I'm like,
go.
settle, and I'm like, oh, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I make gift boxes, and I'm like, oh, sick, like with champagne and that, or cheese, or I don't know, like I don't fucking buy gift boxes. And she's like, no, like with a difference. And I'm like, oh, sweet. I need to know more. Oh, these ones are more mindful. And I'm like, a mindful gift box? Sure. I'm like, what does that actually mean? So, she's like 100% passionate about how she's got these gift boxes that she can ship to your door and they can help you be more mindful. And I'm sitting there, on my phone, answering 4 billion messages, trying to listen to the guy speak on an iPad at the same time, flicking between like this, just like, got overused ADHD. And she's like, man, like, you just need to slow down a little bit, eh? And I'm like, she's like, it's like you're always on. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fucking on, right? Yeah, I'm real on. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck's wrong with that? And I'm like, maybe send me one of those fucking mindful boxes. I'll look into it. I don't even know what the fuck mindful means. And I just like, it's so cool. Two complete polar opposite people. You got one person over here who's just like 150% full noise, probably due a heart attack in the next couple of years if I'm not, if I'm not careful, versus this bird who's just basically trying to encourage people to buy boxes of mindfulness. And I would never know what the fuck mindfulness actually is, and you could even put it into a box. But she's on her journey, I'm on mine, and I'm like, you're an awesome person. I'm, about a 4 out of 10, but this is exciting. So
It's all that matters, man. As long as
yeah,
you're both in your journeys, you're both happy. It's
yeah.
I don't really. Actually be really interested to know what she's putting in these boxes.
Yeah, oh mate, yeah, I went to the website and I saw some pictures and I sort of said, look, here's, a bit of feedback. I think you might need to educate the market on, what that actually is, before people go, okay, maybe I do need that. So she said to me, you know how like you're always really energetic and you always just seem to be hissing, and I'm like, oh yeah, 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 no, 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 oh yeah, yeah, I think I know what you mean. And she said, that's really bad for you. You need to take 10 minutes. If it's proven, if you take 10 minutes a day to slow down, you're potentially 120% more efficient than if you don't. I'll be like, oh fucking yeah, sweet. And where do I sign? And she's like, well, I've actually got a box full of this mindfulness that you could pay for. And I'm like, well, fuck me, I got a credit card. It's maxed out. Get into it. Um, but and I think that was part of the lesson today, probably for her, is you got to sell the why of what you're doing, and also educate the market. So um, yeah, I think I've just given a pretty good example of that. So yeah, there's probably something valuable in this morning's conversation for both of us.
Yeah, man. I really want to get one of these boxes now. I'm gonna look into it.
I can find
I'm
a link
just
for them.
really intrigued. I'm just
I'll
intrigued as
post.
what's in it.
Yeah, kia ora, Aiden. Aiden's watching. Go on, the lads. I'll find the link. I found them on Instagram. So a few little likes later on, and maybe we'll have a look and get some
Yeah,
boxes. Yeah.
how do you box mindfulness? Because
Well,
it's like trying to box like self-awareness. I mean, if there's a warehouse of self-awareness somehow, let's get it out there so we don't have to do stuff like this.
what's let's finish with something practical. What's a practical way
Yeah.
that you can become more self-aware?
A practical way you can become more self-aware. I think every time you want to react to something, just stopping and taking a breath. That's the first thing that pops into my head. Yeah, when you say that.
I like it. I like it, and wondering what's triggering you to have that reaction. Essentially.
Yes, exactly. My sister's just walked out, thank God, because I tried to have this conversation with her earlier today.
Cool.
But I think we're running low on time, though, so I don't really want to be here all night.
Maybe that's another chapter.
But yeah, no, I think just before any sort of if you feel yourself getting upset or angry or emotional in any sort of way, like just kind of like stopping for a second just to acknowledge like where that's coming from and being aware of it, and not pointing the blame. Like, we choose how we feel about any situation of everything. Like, every emotion we feel, it's our choice. And I think too often people are just kind of like, blaming, I don't know, blaming something on someone else. And it's just like, at the end of the day, it all falls on you. Everything is your choice. Like, just own it. Like, who cares? Like, who cares if what, you're doing doesn't fit in with society's view? Like, freaking 90% of what people are doing doesn't fit in with society's view. I don't know, like, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. No, I like it. I think it's a good point. Yeah, I mean, everything is our choice, and the other one is that everything's our fault. At the end of the day, realistically, we have to grasp that we're in the situations we're in, and I had to have a couple of those phone calls over the weekend. So yeah, and look, I'm no different. Same for me. But yeah, it's all good stuff. I guess, yeah, going
Hey,
back to
I
my
think
question.
I think it's a question. I think it's a question coming through now.
Really?
Did Lukey ask out the mindful girl?
Dude, what?
Oh no, I've spelled mindful wrong.
You fucking get the fuck out of here. Go down.
Sorry, man, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
No, you're good, mate. I was there to learn, mate, not to eat. Um, being being self-aware, I was going to say having mates that you can ask for feedback from. That's, yeah, pretty important, and it's like a hard thing to do. And like, I mean, I don't even do it that much, but it's something that I've started to think about recently over the last few weeks. It's probably, I mean, I've got a couple of mates where I can do it with, but I probably am going to start trying to open up to being a bit more like that and asking some of the people closest to me that sort of have the most interaction with me, oh, like, what do you see about this? Do you think is there anything I could do better? Is there anything that's frustrating? Do you see any reaction from people that I can't see? Am I missing anything? For me, again, like, am I fucking anyone off? Because I like to include everyone and make sure people are feeling happy and fulfilled and stuff. So it's quite a biggie for me. So I'm probably just going to start opening up a little bit more over the next couple of months and seeking some feedback from people that are close to me. I'm getting pretty worked up about a few certain things at the moment, and sometimes I sort of reflect and go, "Fuck, maybe I'm just way too passionate about this, and it's not realistic of what people are seeing." But I'm so dead set certain that I'm right that I'm just like losing frustration with people's responses and just trying to push my shit on them. And I can kind of sense that in myself with a little bit of my own self awareness, but I kind of need to understand from people that are watching the same thing unfold um, whether I am being too forceful slash too over the top and maybe a little bit arrogant or whatnot, whatever they're seeing, or whether I'm on the right track and they can they believe it too, and I've got to keep pushing. So asking for feedback.
Man, like, people are scared of truth.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, I mean, and I was just thinking about this when you were saying that stuff, and like, you're obviously concerned about how people are perceiving your passion, all that sort of stuff. I think a lot of it, people get pissed off and, whatever, annoyed, well, like, they're funny. But it's because they can't deal. It's really hard for people to see the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think so many people out there just, I don't know, like, they're just so terrified of it. that they just then decide to put other people down, or give you shit because you're so passionate about something, and that's your truth. And then people are like, I hate that guy can be so honest and truthful. So like, I'm gonna throw my poo at him. Like,
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah,
yeah.
it's tricky.
Did you have anything else? Should we wrap?
No, I think we wrapped it up, mate. What are we? Good half an
Yeah.
hour there. Plenty of insight.
Did we? I don't know. I can't even see the recording.
What,
I did just want to say though, like, oh yeah.
No, that you go.
I was just going to say, just on your point to feedback, Lukey, like if anyone out there who's listening and watching and stuff, please hit us up. Like we are both extremely open-minded guys. We'll happily take on any feedback. If there's anything you guys actually want to see in these videos and our content, hit us up. If you want to get involved, let us know. If you want your story told or anything like that, we can keep it confidential. But yeah, just hit us up. Like, I'm super happy with how it's been going the last week. I've actually had a few people reach out, which is really cool. But yeah, so if you want to get involved, and also if you know people who you think will benefit from being a part of this, please go and add them. As most of you probably know, or guess, like especially my friends on Facebook, I just went and added everyone, basically because I figured, a lot of people aren't too comfortable talking about this sort of stuff. And I'm surprised at the actual responses of people. Like I'm getting responses from people that I didn't think I would be getting responses from, if that makes sense. So yeah, go out, add people. Let's just make this positivity stuff, louder and bigger. And, all we want to do is send some love. But yeah, Lukey, did you?
Yeah, bro, awesome message. And I guess to reiterate, we're dropping this into a podcast once a week as well, right?
Yeah, it'll be on Apple Podcasts for sure. It's also on a couple other sites.
Excuse me. So if you can't tune in and watch the TV live version of us two mugs on screen up to heaps, then you can always tune in and listen to it whilst you're driving. So, it's been pretty positive last couple of weeks. So people have been like, "What a bloody good idea for a group." So props to you, Richie. This has been brewing for a while for you and been something that's been, something you've wanted to get started, and it's probably what you spoke about at the start of this ep is basically just getting started. And I think, I've seen how passionate and how engaged and excited you have been to just keep the messages rolling. So now's the we've got the starting, and now we just need to keep it rolling. So this is where it gets exciting.
Yeah. I definitely can't take all the credit, mate. Like, you are a fucking inspiration. I think having you as a mate has really helped move me forward. And it's like, we've spoken about before, like the people that you surround yourself with. Like, even though you're in freaking New Zealand and I'm in, Sydney, it's like the fact that we've stayed in touch and have these chats. Like, I honestly don't know if I would have got to the position that I'm in now if it wasn't for your input as well. So thank you.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. No problem. That means a lot. And it's I guess for me, to have some form of impact for yourself, which I think most of it was already staring you straight in the face. You just needed to take some action. So to give you a little bit of that energy or fuel or whatever it is or encouragement to get some shit rolling and see things more positively, which all the things that I could basically tell the person that you already are, but you were just not being at the time. And so it was probably just frustrating me and going, well, fuck, man, just sort this shit out so you can become the Richie that that I know is the Richie, and that I built a friendship with, and the world will be a better place. So here we are.
Taking the world by storm. Let's do it.
Yeah. Go to lads.
One video at a time.
Yeah, one video and 4 viewers at a time.
Thank you to those 4 viewers. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, definitely. Nah, but seriously though, like I think one thing I've always been really big on is never ever underappreciating like one person's attention. Like it's like when you
Mm,
have a conversation with someone, when they disengage with what you're saying, you're like I had it tonight where I got introduced to this dude, and the guy was trying to explain to him who I was, and the guy like when I looked at him was basically just like he just didn't give a fuck. He was just like looking away, like okay, like I don't know why you're introducing me to this dickhead, and I was like, yeah, yeah, God bless, that's fine. But like not underappreciating people's attention, whether it's when you get introduced to someone, whether they call you, whether they text you, whether they message you, whether they are watching what you're doing, like just fucking just appreciate it and say thank you and just go back to them and just reply to the hellos from your brothers and the Cure lads and the various from players and whatnot because it's yeah people's time and attention is fucking valuable. So if you take it for granted, then that's a shit attitude. So yeah,
yeah. Yeah, legit. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to everyone who's going to watch this, who's watching this, who's going to listen to it. Do really appreciate it. I'm not doing it for all the viewers and stuff. We're just doing it to like spread a bit of cheer.
yep,
All right, should we wrap?
yeah, man. What are we gonna do in terms of give the people some updates in terms of structure? So we're gonna go like maybe try like a Monday night and like twice a week, or maybe Monday, see what questions pop up during the week, and then address them when we can off the cuff, record some answers.
I definitely think I like the Monday. I think guys will definitely we'll commit to our Monday nights.
Hi,
We'll
Grace.
get back to you with it. We'll get back to you guys with like an actual like time. In terms of like midweek, I don't know, maybe we have a chat about it, Lukey, and then we'll post up a bit of a
Yeah,
schedule, and then we'll like maybe go from there or something.
like it,
But we'll get some
like it.
structure for you guys so you guys know when to tune in if you want to tune in. Um, got some ideas floating around in here to get some engagement from you guys and to help you guys think a bit more positively. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll wrap it up there. I think it's the third time I've said wrap it up, so probably should at this point.
Just
But
before
yeah,
you,
thanks.
just before you wrap it up, was there talk about you getting Ada Nicodemu on the show?
Mate, it's happening, bro. Yeah, that's 100% happening. I think it was
Fuck,
next week she's coming on.
Ada Nicodemu. I love saying that name. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but that's Leah from Home and Away, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well,
Uh,
that's work in progress.
little bit of love from Brody there. No worries, Broods. Love your work, mate. Hopefully you're well and you're kicking ass in the old hockey space. Righto, team. That's me wrapped up. I'm wrapped up. Yeah.
All right, let's do this. All right, guys. Thank you again. We'll tune in soon and let you know what's happening. Love you all and good night.
Have a great weekend. Oh, wait, it's week. Yeah, sure. Monday. Heaps on.